Dokkan Battle has reached its 10th anniversary, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit in this video because I think it has some good changes that it's made throughout its life that I think Genshin should/could also make. And I do think that overall it would be better for the game's health, and I think it wouldn't really affect sales that much, considering Dokkan in its first part and second part of the anniversary reached top grossing. So Dokkan has a way of rerunning its Dokkan Fest and Carnival characters, which really, I think it would work for Genshin tremendously. I do think so. Because imagine going to Sigewin's banner and be like, I'm not summoning on that. But then you see that, like, Albedo or Klee is on there, and it's like, okay, maybe. And it would be sort of this limited character. They would probably have to give, like, these characters a title, maybe, you know, I don't know, character banner exclusives or something. I don't know. But what you could do is, okay, come here, chart course, and then you pick whichever character you want. You know, Albedo, Klee, you can pick whichever character you want. That would save and make more money than having Sigewin be the only character on this banner. And what would happen with Sigewin and Klee if you chose Albedo is they could just be in the standard pool. I imagine it would be very much so beneficial for Genshin to, you know, start rerunning basically more characters at once. It'd be faster reruns, it'd be better reruns, it would work, and, you know, people would actually summon for these characters. Now that the CEO of Hoyo isn't, you know, in charge of the game, they can come to the CEO of Hoyo and be like, oh, hey, look how much we made this month. And they're like, oh, wow, you made so much comparatively to, you know, last month where you released Sigewin and Mizuki. I'm going to be honest. I don't think a lot of people are summoning for these characters. I just don't think so. So imagine, you know, you at least have the chance that you're looking at other people in the community who have Albedo and Klee right here. And it's like, oh, wow, I can use those characters. It's basically that, right? There are reasons why, you know, certain people skipped Vegito so they can get Gogeta. Or maybe they didn't skip Vegito, but they're still summoning on, you know, Vegito's banner, right? Instead of, you know, getting the new flashy Gogeta. And that's because, you know, Vegito's banner has, you know, I don't know. Honestly, Vegito's banner is a lot worse than Gogeta's banner. This is really bad. LR Super Saiyan Force, right? The LR Super Saiyan Force. The sickest boys ever that fuse into Gogeta, right? They have that. That's basically the equivalent of, like, Raiden, I would say, probably. Like the equivalent of having Raiden on the banner. Like, imagine, oh, Sigewin's coming to banner. Let's throw Raiden on her. And then people would actually summon for those characters, drain their summons for, you know, possibly newer, more hype characters faster. Overall, it's sort of a win and lose situation, but it's overall should be good for the game. And in theory, it should be good for the game because it gives people the ability to get characters like Sigewin. You know, you go ahead, you summon for Raiden, Sigewin gets put into the standard character like thing. So if you lose 50-50, you have a chance of getting her. And at this point, it's like a 1 in 8 chance or 1 in 9 chance, considering you'd have to add Sigewin. It would be like that, right? And it probably would be good, right? Imagine if, like, Kokomi is on Mizuki's banner, right? It'd be really good to have something like that, and you just go ahead, summon for, you know, Kokomi, right? It would work. It would drain people's pools, like I said, so people who, you know, really want that character can go for that character. They'll be satisfied, but hey, new hypeness comes out in, like, the next update, and it's like, oh my god, I gotta get that character. Well, time to swipe, right? It's beneficial for the player, but also not beneficial. It's a sort of balancing act, but overall, I think it would be just better for the game, and I think it'd be more healthy for the game because it probably would lead to more people having a variety of characters. Now, a lot of characters have, you know, you could use the term fallen off because they just don't keep up with, you know, 4.0 and beyond meta right now. So overall, like, we have that sort of thing, right? And power creep does happen in Genshin. A lot of people like to think that it doesn't happen in Genshin. Would this increase the power creep, you know, and how much they would push it? Who knows, right? It would only be up for Hoyo to decide, but I think it is possible that Genshin could be doing that, or could end up doing that, because we are getting to the point where there's so many characters in this game that it's getting hard to rerun them. And the Chronicled banner, due to how many times, like, they've tried it now twice, and I don't think it's met their expectations twice now. I don't think it has. They reran a whole bunch of, you know, mid characters who aren't worth summoning for on the Chronicled banner Whether that's because they didn't think it would make money or anything, I just don't see a reason why they wouldn't go ahead and be like, okay, Shinha's on this banner. You guys have a chance of pulling her. It'll entice the people who really want Shinha, and it will, benefit the people to get Shinha if they were going for another character. But they would also have drained their summons because they were kind of enticed by Shinha being there, right? Imagine pairing Shinha with Risley. I don't think it's a good combo, but hey, people will say it's a good combo, and they'll, I wouldn't recommend people get Shinha for Risley at this point because Shinha's just not really that great, I'm going to be honest. So basically, that's the thought process behind this. It's beneficial and hurtful to the players, whatever you think so. I think it would be more beneficial to the players, but not necessarily, it wouldn't make a dent in, Hoyo's wallet, basically. Now, another way that they could, sort of reintroduce characters is through coins. They could have a system that uses the Masterless Star Glitter. And it's like, oh, hey, do you want to use your Masterless Star Glitter, like 500 Masterless Star Glitter, which is 100 summons on Yae Miko? You get her guaranteed 100 summons. That's all it takes, right? Instead of summoning for Yae Miko, you could go ahead and you can grab her because you've been summoning. Now, it's a little bad because, like, if I was given the option to, get Dragon Stones with my red coins, I would probably get the Dragon Stones instead of trying to get the things because it would probably be, it'd be a weird conversion ratio, but Masterless Star Glitter also isn't a set amount. They could also just add another way of getting stuff, like, loyalty. It's a loyalty system, basically, is what it is. It's not proper pity, but it's a loyalty system for sticking with the game. You're going ahead, you have the coins. When the character comes back, they can be a certain amount of coins. Like, let's say you get 10 coins to summon, and, like, they have Raiden, and you need 500 coins for it, right? So you basically have to do 50 multis, 500 summons in order to get a free Raiden. Overall, I think that would be beneficial for the game. I just do. Because also people would summon when they don't have enough coins to, get the new returning character. Who is probably on banner, right? Dokkan does it on the first time they come back on a banner, but that's how I explained it before, where it was like, okay, I'll add Albedo and Cleat to the banner. That basically would be how it was, right? Sejuin maybe wouldn't have it, right? Sejuin could have it, but maybe wouldn't have it, right? Mizuki would not be able to be bought with coins unless you pitied her properly, which is basically, we don't need to talk about that in Genshin because Genshin has a pity system. So yeah, that's another way that they could do a way of, sort of filling out. Because I'm going to be honest, there's also 4 years of characters that people that are starting the game do not have access to. Because at this point, if you're free to play starting the game, the chances of you getting a lot of your characters, like if you have like more than 10 limited 5 stars that you want, you're probably never going to be able to get all of them. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you probably will not be able to get all of them, because what's going to happen is new limited 5-star that you want, new limited 5-star that you want, new limited 5-star that you want. You're going to have to eventually spend in order to get those. However, I think overall it would be more beneficial for people to get characters that they want through like this coin system that I'm explaining, because realistically, how big of a percentage is that gonna take out of Hoyo's wallet, and how really big of a percentage is it gonna take and increase the player count, because players are satisfied with the what's happening, right? Hey, I got Tech Broly and Beast Gohan through my coins. I did not get those characters at all. Had I not had those characters to fit onto my new team, Dokkan does also need 6 characters for a team, but had I not gotten those characters to fit on my new team, I would not like my new team. We do now have, grade 8 Vegeta Easy A, which is very good. However, those 2 characters that I'm pointing to, hopefully, with circles or something, hopefully, those 2 characters carry the team on their back because they are such an essential part of the team. It's almost like you're using Alhaitham without Nahida, right? You don't really get the full experience. Imagine if you got Alhaitham and then you were able to buy Nahida for him. Imagine that, right? Nahida, not necessarily like the super greatest support in the game anymore, right? But someone just spent their coins on buying him instead of buying, one of the better supports in the game. And, maybe characters don't get, put into the coin system until like their 3rd rerun or something. I don't know. However Genshin wants to make it. Genshin already has the pity, right? So, it's a little different than Dokkan, right? It would have to be a little different than Dokkan. I'm not asking for an exact replica of what Dokkan has. However, I do think that it would be interesting and very good to have old characters be buyable with coins, because realistically, they're not going to make much money on these old characters at this point. Zhongli, Albedo, like Zhongli, he's there, but like at this point, the dude's aged. He used to be a really good support to toss into basically any team, but nowadays you get so much damage from like having better supports that it's kind of like you can kill the enemy before Zhongli's shield would ever matter, right? You don't need Zhongli's shield anymore. So the coin system, I think, would be a very, nice change to Genshin. I think it would be a fun change to Genshin, put some older characters that nobody really is interested in summoning in, but it would be very nice to have them, right? I think overall it would increase player enjoyment in the game, and I think it's something that, increases, Dokkan players' enjoyment. There's a reason why the game's lasted 10 years, because the players are happy with the game and they are consistently playing it. I've played this game for so long that I don't know when I started this game. I'm going to be honest. I know that I started around when Physical Goku Black came out on Global. That's when I know I started. I don't know when that was. But hey, I've been happy because the game makes changes all the time, and generally I'm able to get the characters that I want, and I'll toss a couple bucks or two. And you could make the coins a limited time thing, like, oh, hey, you spent, 180 summons on the Mizuki banner, you got 180 coins, you can now go buy one of the other 2 characters that she was featured with, sort of, right? Sort of a deal like that, right? It'd be cool. Incentivize people to summon more on, beyond what they may have gotten guaranteed, or they could stop, obviously. So yeah, the coin system, just another thing that I think it's not. I don't think this is probably the least likely thing I think that's going to be added to Genshin, the coin system. I don't think that we need a coin system, just due to you probably can get characters very easily, especially if they do go with the old characters on new banner. I do think that is possible, because the Chronicle banner hasn't made a lot of money. I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Chronicle banner is performing up to their expectations, which is why I don't think that, they're really, like, they try and then they fail. Maybe it is living up to their expectations. I'm not Hoyo, but, that's up to them, right? Now, I want to take us back to a character who, I've recently said fell off because she was nowhere near as good as she was on her release, right? So when Nahida released, she was by far, in a way, one of the best characters in the game. And not even one of the best. She was the best. There was no other character that could contend with her. Hyper Bloom being such an insane, strong reaction basically turned this character into the best character of the game alone. Because Hyper Bloom basically was the DPSs. Like, it was super easy to use, super easy to do. And you had DPS characters like Hu Tao that were, practicality-wise, doing worse than her. Just doing worse than Hyper Bloom. And it was just a reaction. And, nowadays, they've gone ahead, added more DPSs that can do out-damage Hyper Bloom. However, that's just Hyper Bloom, right? Anybody else see that Nahida's normal attacks are glowing? Why is it doing that? Oh, wait, talents that can be leveled up now glow? What? Why? Okay, well, but Nahida no longer embodies that. And there is a way, possibly, she could, embody that once again. Or at least be stronger than what she is right now. Maybe bring back some Danger teams, make them better. That's through something called an Extreme Z Awakening, which Dokkan has, and it makes years-old units a lot better. Now, Nahida does not need an EZA. I'm going to be honest. She's good enough on her own, right? She is. It's more so Al-Haytham or other characters that need the EZA, but mostly we'd probably look at characters like Mona, right? Let's say Mona. She would get an EZA because she's not really useful beyond what, this like small niche cases, but Mona isn't really useful beyond the small niche, cases that she is kind of useful, right? She would get an EZA. Basically, just add another passive talent to her, and then you're set, because she can have, I don't know the flaws necessarily in Mona's kit, but hey, maybe this will be increased per normal attack, or maybe it can be procced twice again. I don't know. You would need something to increase this duration, because that is her main issue, I would say. She has, the illusion bubble, right? Or maybe make the illusion bubble just a really, really strong nuke at that point, and then she could probably do some pretty strong damage, right? Or maybe, crazy thought, they could give her a C7. However, I don't think that would be true. That wouldn't be great. But basically, you would probably have to like clear Abyss, and you would get a resource, and then you would put that resource into leveling up Mona, and she would be easy aid, basically, is how this sort of would work. You would, have to beat the strong continent in the game that's already there, and then Mona would get stronger as a result of it, and it would increase your account's value and increase your overall strength of your account, and Mona would be a top tier character in the game again. Maybe. I don't know if she was ever a top tier character in the game, but hey, it gives her a chance to be a top tier character in the game. And that is something that is really important, I think, because this is probably the one thing, out of all the things I'm talking about so far, this is the number one thing that I want, because this character, or not this character, but just certain characters in this game, they have so much potential if some of their flaws are fixed, or maybe they get better multipliers or something, right? I do genuinely think, like, Thoma, a lot of people underrate him. Imagine if he, like, decreased Dendro res or something. Make him, like, he's good for Kinich. He is. If you don't believe me, you're dumb. He is good for Kinich. He can hold Deepwood. He can do all that stuff. Imagine if they make him sort of a burning support, because this character wasn't released when Dendro came out. What if they make him a burning support for Kinich? That would be so good, right? And you have to clear Abyss to do it, so it's automatically like, it's not like, free-to-play players are just going to get this incredible character who came out years ago. You have to genuinely use some of the newer characters. The Abyss could be 13th floor of Abyss, right? Everyone keeps asking for that, or, some people keep asking for that. Make the game hard, like, make it even harder, make it super hard to get, and then you unlock Thoma, and he's like this really good character. And maybe there's like 2 easy A characters in a game, or maybe a patch. Because generally now they're releasing 1 character in update, so they could go ahead, do like 1 or 2 characters a patch, and they could easy A them, or, add a passive talent to them. And I think it would really work out and benefit the game overall, because nobody is going to stop summoning because Thoma is now a good Kinich support. Nobody is. In theory, it would give more value. Like, imagine if that happens when Kinich is rerun. So many people have Thoma. So they're going to summon knowing they have Thoma. Thoma can be on Kinich's banner, and they could get the easy aid version of Thoma, and now Kinich has an even better support, made him better, and it's really nice for him, right? Kinich, let's talk about an easy A for him, sort of, a way that they could fix his flaws. Oh my god, never mind. I just realized. I was about to mention Kinich. There's one character who needs the easy A the baddest. This character. Make her arrows explode. That's all they have to do. If they made her arrows explode, she'd be like 10 times better. Genuinely, though. I do think that this character would benefit most from like a rework of their kit. I don't think a total rework is necessary. I think just small changes and small buffs, right? Maybe level up these talents once with the new material or something, right? I don't know. But it would be very, very nice to be able to grab a easy A. Like, it would be very, very nice to see some of these characters these old characters who are now power crept become meta again. And then they can have a banner, and they can be sold again. Because, realistically, Yoimiya does deserve it. Yoimiya was a character who immediately after Hu Tao had came... No, not immediately after Hu Tao came out. But Hu Tao had been out. And then she came out, and she was, like, slightly worse, right? It was slightly worse. A lot of people will tell you it's a lot worse. But I don't think that was the case when they came out. I was playing when they came out. And realistically, to me, Hu Tao felt about the same, right? But as time went on, Hu Tao was just better and better and better and better. And you don't necessarily need an entirely new character to make, or this character, let's put it this way. This character is hard to buff without buffing every other, like, pyro DPS, right? It was very hard to buff. Imagine this character gets an easy A. Oh, would you look at that? New character. Everyone got a nice little bonus for having Yoimiya already. Maybe, it makes the constellation better. Maybe they could easy A the constellations on top of that. And then, oh, wow. Oh, Yoimiya C1 is actually pretty good. It's possible. I think it would be a very, very nice thing to do. And overall, I think that is something that I want the most in this game. I do think that I want the most in this game is, like, character reworks for old characters to come back and be good again. Because when I use my Yoimiya, I'm not asking for better than Mavuika characters. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. Easy A's, sometimes they're fumbles, right? We understand this as Dokkan players. We understand certain easy A's. Kaioken Goku, he gets damage reduction per STR orb. Technically, in theory, you can collect 20 orbs. That's 80% damage reduction, man. Kaioken Goku, good job, buddy. But if you don't get any S tier orbs, the man's dead. So yeah, I think easy A's are definitely the #1 thing that I would want out of Genshin, because I do think, you know, it offers a way for Hoyo to resell the character, right? Be like, oh wow, newly easy A Yuemiya, she's really, really strong. Better go get her, right? And she's also like, and also it would be really nice for support characters like, you know, Zhongli, right? Zhongli is the support character. He is the Archon. Nowadays, he's not necessarily so great because he only has 20% res reduction, and then his artifact set 20% attack, 44 or 45. Is it? No, it's 35% damage bonus, right? That's what this artifact set gives. Yeah, 35% damage bonus sometimes, right? So he has all that. What if they just gave the man? What if they just gave a man an easy A and just like made his shield also like, you know, 50% res reduction or something? I don't know. Make him the biggest res decreaser in the game. Venti, I don't necessarily know how they would fix. I think they'd probably just need to make him a DPS, maybe. Yeah, it would be fun, interesting ways for him to work, right? Eula is also a character that could definitely benefit from an easy A. It's not like she's competing with anybody, so she could once again, Eula could be, because Eula is very much so just thrown into the pit of never come out and see the light of day. I'm gonna be honest. Like this, Eula is not a character that I ever care about in this game. So overall, that was generally the gist of what I want to see in this game, and possibly what I think is plausible in this game. And it just was a little fun video for me to do because I do love Dokkan. I've been playing that game for literally over 8 years at this point. I think maybe, I don't know. Let's see. I wish I could see when my account is created, but I do have 2,800 days logged in. That is one thing. I 2,810 days logged into that game. I've definitely missed some days, obviously, because I'm not, you know, I'm not full blown, you know, I must play Dokkan all day. But if I sort my box by acquired, my first acquired Dokkan Fest is AGL Vegito, and then Tech Beerus, and then Fizz Vegito Blue. I don't know. Maybe I think I did play when the Vegito Blue banner came out, right? I think I did, right? Yeah. So I think I started the game in March of 2017. So yeah, and also I mean, the game is so old at this point. There used to not be guaranteed SSRs, which are basically like 4 stars, I guess. Yeah, guaranteed 4 stars, kind of, but the game's already had that. There are a lot of things that Dokkan has added. The game being so old, it used to not be at all free-to-play friendly. Like, it really used to be like, oh, hey, you got 50 summons. Good job. Or 50 stones. Good job, buddy. Good job. Now spend them and get nothing. Literally. It wasn't... The entire the entire first anniversary was 50 stones, which is a multi-summon in Dokkan, and you were guaranteed nothing. Nothing. The entire anniversary, that is what that was. The game was very bare bones. It was not friendly. But hey, that game has come a long way and has reached 10 years of its anniversary and is now literally giving away a free anniversary character for free. Just for free. And also probably another one, because I am a free-to-play player, and I think I'm about to get Pity on the banners, meaning I'm also getting another free one, because I mean, I'm not a free-to-play player entirely, but I have not spent any money on the game in, like, probably 2 years. I don't know. I don't spend the money all in the game a lot. But hey, it still reaches top grossing and stuff. So yeah, this is just some stuff that I wanted to, you know, talk about. And I just wanted to sort of appreciate Dokkan. I don't really get to make a lot of those sort of, a lot of these videos. And yeah, I just think that overall, it's a good change. Because to me, this game literally has been a part of my life for a while at this point. In 2017. I mean, that's going on 7 or 6, I don't know how many years. But I started in the, like, before the second anniversary. Yeah. And, yeah, my account is quite insane. And yeah, just through playing the game a lot and being a dedicated player, I feel like I am rewarded for what I, you know, do. And I don't necessarily know how free-to-play players feel in Genshin, but I feel like you don't really get that. I'm going to be honest. You don't. You do get the great game, obviously. The game is great. I do love it. But, you know, but Genshin definitely could add some stuff to make it to where you feel like you're rewarded more for just playing the game and, you know, experiencing the game, right? Dokkan really does a good job about that, and overall I do think that Genshin, while it doesn't need any of this stuff, I do think that it would be good to add this stuff. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.